I really appreciate you joining me today, and this story comes from West Brom, and I do need to issue a trigger warning due to the nature of the story and also some of the police audios that will be played in this video. This is the third story I believe I've covered from the West Midlands in the past year, where children have been murdered by their parents and the people that are responsible for them. A mother and partner have been convicted of causing the death of 3-year-old Kemarni. So her boyfriend has been convicted of murder and she has been convicted of causing his death, which is very different. Kemarni Darby died in a flat in West Brom in 2018, and his mother's partner, Nathaniel Pope, 32 years old, has been convicted of his murder. Alicia Watson called paramedics to Beacon View Road in West Brom to the flat that she shared with Nathaniel on the 5th of June 2018. She told them that Kemarni had stopped breathing, and shortly after the call was made, paramedics found him lifeless on the floor and Watson was trying to give him CPR.
Yeah, but he's not responding to me. He's 3.
He's 3? He's 3 years old?
He's 3 years old. He's not responding to me.
Not responding?
No, he's like, I went to the doctors this morning and come back home, but he's not responding to me.
Okay, is his breathing noisy or quiet?
He's breathing quiet.
He's breathing quiet, and he's 3 years old?
Yes.
Okay, just stay calm for me. We've got the help arranged. What's the address?
The post-mortem revealed that Kemarni suffered multiple fractures, internal injuries and also bruising. He died as a result of internal bleeding caused by blunt force trauma, and his injuries were so severe the force used to inflict them was compared to that of a car crash, the jurors heard at Birmingham Crown Court. They believed that Kemarni was stamped on, but the exact cause of death will never be determined. The court heard medical evidence that Kemarni had sustained older injuries. Some of them were fractures that had healed. And there was evidence that Kemarni was hurt by Watson and also Pope on 4 separate occasions in the weeks leading up to his death. Jurors also learned that her boyfriend locked Kemarni in a room and used electrical cables to keep the door shut. Watson herself lied to several people about some of the injuries, telling the nursery and other family members that he'd been hurt while play fighting with his sibling, when in reality he was being abused. Alicia took Kemarni to a medical centre where he was examined and suspected to have been suffering from a stomach bug, but at no point did she say that he was subject to an assault or any trauma, and they failed to notice the black eye that he suffered when he was inside the doctor's surgery. Footage was played in court and it showed Watson and Kemarni walking to and from the medical centre and going to McDonald's hours before he died. Pathologists gave evidence that it was extremely likely that he suffered the fatal injuries while he was at home, and they believed there was no way that he could have stood up and walked, and let alone made it to the medical centre with the injuries that he had. Pope and Watson were both inside the flat with Kemarni on the afternoon that he was murdered, and they were charged with murder and multiple counts of child cruelty, but chose to plead not guilty to the offences. Following a trial at Birmingham Crown Court that lasted several months, the pair today, on the 12th of April, have been convicted. Alicia Watson of Raglan Road in Handsworth was found guilty of allowing or causing the death of a child. Nathaniel Pope, 31 from Wolverhampton, was found guilty of murder and child cruelty. In a statement by Detective Inspector Jim Mahon, he said, "This has been a horrific case for everybody involved, and I'd like to send my condolences to the family and also thanks to the jury who engaged and considered everything about it before they made their decision. Kemarni was so young and would not have been able to understand what was happening or the pain that he felt that was administered by people who were supposed to love him." The pair are due to be sentenced at a later date, and I will definitely follow it up when that does happen as well. But it is really heartbreaking to see another example of the neglect and also abuse of these young children, and it just really reminds you that you do need to be aware when you do see a child. You do need to think, is this child okay? If there's any signs in the family of anybody that's going through any mental health issues or children that just don't seem happy and don't seem like they're being looked after, you really do need to be aware of that, or this is just going to keep happening again and again. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this story, and any thoughts, opinions, or anything you think society could do differently to try to prevent this from occurring. I really appreciate you joining me today. Don't forget to follow me online as well at Scarcity Studios, and rest in peace to Kemarni.